Greetings YouTube, this is Garand Thumb, and I wanted to do a quick video on some options that those with poor eyesight have when trying to use a Garand. If you're like myself, you get your Garand and you discover that your eyesight's not what it used to be. So you basically have three choices for improving the vision on the Garand. Two options include using optics, and one option is using a particular sight. So the one of the more common setups that I've seen is that you can get a scout scope configuration. If you see here, you can replace this upper piece here with a mount. It replaces this whole part, and then you can put a scope on there that has an extended eye relief, and basically you use it in a scout scope configuration. The other option is you can hang a scope off of the left side of the rifle over here. I actually did try this. There's a couple of different mounts out there. The mount that I went with was the B-square mount, and I'll give a good close-up look at this scope so those that are curious can see, get an idea what you're looking at. So this is from the top. You can see the rail. I'll come down over here, and there's the front side of it. And the way this scope works is this piece here. You actually have to take your rear sight off. That's one of the things that people don't like about it, but you know, from my perspective, if you have bad eyesight, your irons aren't doing you any good anyway. So you take your rear sight aperture off, and this goes in there, and you got a support bracket right up here, and you can actually adjust your elevation with a set screw over here, and there's also one in the back. So you can see those. Get some good angles on this. Now this mount actually worked quite well. I have my rear sight aperture on here. You can see I obviously ultimately chose not to stick with this, but you can see how this works. See if I can get the camera steady. But it basically goes on like this, and that allows you to put a regular scope on there. The problem with it, I had a couple problems with it though. First, the mount worked. It worked really well actually, and it was very steady. I was impressed. I didn't have any problems with oops, dropped the camera there. I didn't have any problems with it shaking loose or anything like that. The main issues that I had is, as you can imagine, there's absolutely no cheek weld at all. I will put some pictures at the end of this video so you can see just how far to the left the scope hangs. The other problem is that it did add quite a bit of weight, and the rifle wanted to twist to the left after every shot. And overall, it was a very cumbersome handling of the rifle. So ultimately, it worked well. It allowed me to shoot at 300 yards precisely, but it didn't feel right to me. So I was contemplating going the scout scope route when I discovered a small company. Maybe it's a one-man show, I'm not sure, but there's this guy out there. I'll put a link in the description, Bjones, and he makes little lenses that can fit inside a national match rear sight aperture. So I had to buy the rear sight aperture, which you can see here. Good close-up here. So this hooded aperture came, let me see if I can. So this whole part was all part of the national match aperture. I actually ordered this particular piece from Midway. Now the one thing, if someone goes this route, is this part over here, it doesn't fit by default. I had to file it down to get that to fit. It took quite a bit of experimenting, you know, just file a little bit away. The main thing is that it's just a little bit too wide and maybe a touch thick. I'll try and get a close-up picture. So I had to file that down, and then what you get is a little hooded aperture, which probably helps. But with people with bad eyesight, the problems that I was having was that the rear sight was blurry, and the front sight was blurry, and the target was blurry, and I really couldn't even make out the target. Usually if you aim at the center of blur, you can still hit what you're aiming for, but trying to hit a 5-inch target at 100 yards, I couldn't even see the target, really. That's how far gone my eyes were. So the lens fits inside that hood, and it comes with a rubber washer, and then a lens, and then this little piece of rubber pipe here, and you just squeeze that in, and it's in there. Now let me see if I can get a good shot. I have a photo that I can also put at the end of this video. See if I can get in there. Yeah, it's so you can kind of see. It's a little difficult to, well, that's kind of clear. But this little lens in here made a world of difference for me. With this lens, the front post is clear, and I can see the target. I imagine if your vision is not as bad as mine, this would probably help even more. He does have different powers, so you can go with stronger power, less power, all depending on your eyesight, if you're nearsighted or farsighted. And he even has different colors. You can go with, you know, the rose color, the gray color, whatever. But since my eyesight's really poor, I just stuck with clear. I stuck with a moderately high power, and it made the world of difference for me. So anyway, that's all I want to show. If anyone has any questions, please ask. This sight is what allowed me to enjoy the M1 and to be able to shoot it as it was meant to be. So anyway, have a nice day.